大家好，我是 Ting， 我们今天来玩《世纪帝国4》。没错，我们今天又来玩新游戏了。不管旧的游戏坑有没有填满，我们今天跑来玩新游戏，就这样。好啊，这个《世纪帝国4》应该前一阵子大家他好像开过一个免费的那个压力测试嘛。那个时候我知道的时候已经太晚了，没跟到，所以不过没关系。我相信大家有在关注这款游戏的时候，应该它前面那一波好像放的是，应该是四个国家吧。它总共这一代目前只有8个吧，我看一下哈。对，8个。那主要是英格兰、法兰西，法兰西好像当初有开哈。英格兰、罗斯、苏丹、蒙古吧，这几个应该是上一次没有开的。好，那我相信有在研究的，应该说有关注的朋友，应该之前那一次压力应该就已经玩过，所以我也不多做介绍。那《世纪帝国》我以前也是2代，也是在学校玩啊。但是先讲我《世纪帝国》很菜，我刚刚打了好几把单人的，我连中等电脑都打不赢。就是我如果是敌人是选法兰西的话，基本上他的那个封建时代的那个皇家骑兵就可以把我打得喷出翔来。然后呢，我自己玩法兰西，我可以第一次、第二次打赢人家，可是我就是要去拆人家的城，总是会被他们耗到全灭，然后一波一波耗到后来还是输，所以我非常菜，我菜到爆了。我只是想要体验一下他的战役而已，因为那个时候《世纪帝国2》那时候我就只有。因为家里没电脑，然后只能在学校用学校电脑玩。可是基本上大家就是电脑课2堂课你也玩不了，有时候1场都玩不完，因为老师一直画面一直切或什么的。所以战役我从来都没有机会去好好的体验它。那我们今天就来玩个战役吧。看起来它战役也不多吧，应该只有4个吧。诺曼人2个任务。那应该没有，它这应该是不同的主题啦。应该诺曼人里面应该还是好几关啊。好，那我们就还有什么要介绍吗？应该没有啦。大家除了喷它画面比较差以外，值得一提是它是水雷射啦，水雷射最近都过得不怎么好哈。那个上一次那个 Dawn of War 就是战争黎明战锤 40K 的那个即时战略那个战争黎明黎明3整个大翻车哈，旧玩家玩得不爽，新玩家也吸引不了。老实说，我觉得战锤是不是除了全军破敌战锤2以外，是不是其他系列都内卷了？开发不出来什么，开拓不太了新的客群，感觉好像都这样讲，它内卷是不是？应该是没有形容错吧？好，那我们就来玩个哈斯汀战役诺曼人的这个。不过我要调一下难度，我真的很菜，我只是想看剧情而已。战役简单，故事可能就太侮辱了，侮辱你们看官的。刚才你们看影片应该是要看到玩的那个人被虐，极限操作。对，玩那个故事，玩简单已经很过分了，玩故事应该是要侮辱你们。好，战役我还没玩过哈，所以。这个就是征服者威廉的那个故事，经典的。好，反正那个为什么我会玩这一款呢？因为大家全军破敌中世纪3呢，应该也是喊到死了，应该都 CA 都暂时不会出。我觉得他们应该是有考量过，因为为了出这个《世纪帝国4》，反正他那边战锤1到3部曲本来就确定了，那中间穿插的。历史系列就不要选一个中世纪的，省得打到这个。因为水雷现在也是被 Sega 收购的，所以他们是有策略的。我推论他们是有策略的，不会说去打到自己的市场，就是不同公司还偏偏出同一个主题，自己抢自己市场。 而且两边都是搞这种战略的。然后水雷社前面已经惨淡经营了，要是再被那个 CA 抢到市场份额，卷，这一次不要说卷了，他直接可能就挂了。不过那个虽然工作室是 Sega 的哈，但是这个是微软的 IP 哈，微软是外包给那个水雷社哈，跟大家讲一下。好，那我们就来这个哈斯汀斯战役，简单好。
Some events leave a deep mark on history, but none on the land. This is the site of the Battle of Hastings. After almost 1,000 years, no traces of the bloody conflict can be seen. But here, the fate of England turned. It's where a king was killed, and his victor claimed the throne. October 14th, 1066. We know what happened here on this day, thanks to this. The Bayeux Tapestry. A carefully preserved illustrated record of events. It shows the main players. Harold, the newly crowned Anglo-Saxon King of England, and his challenger, William, Duke of Normandy. William claimed the previous king had promised him the crown. So, he assembled an army and prepared to sail to England to fight King Harold for the throne. But a storm thwarted his plans. Meanwhile, Harold discovered that a Viking invasion had landed in the north. Another threat to his crown. So he raced to fight them. In France, William waited for the right conditions to sail across the Channel to England. The weather cleared. He seized his chance. "250 miles north, Harold had defeated the Vikings. Now, hearing of William's arrival, his army sped south. At 9 o'clock in the morning, on this hill, William's Norman army were ready to do battle with Harold's Anglo-Saxon men. The stage was set, and up for grabs, England itself.
刚刚那个动画搭配那个实景拍摄的画面，我觉得好像在看那个国家历史频道。然后它中间有一幕那个威廉的他们的船队出航的那一段，不是有一个海边的悬崖嘛？那个悬崖看起来有点像是罗素克洛演的那个罗宾汉的最后的那个决战的那个景，不晓得是不是同一个景啊？看起来非常像。那个白色的那个峭壁在海边的，下面是沙滩的那个悬崖。
On October 14th, 1066, William of Normandy stood ready for battle at the base of a hill. The high ground belonged to King Harold of England and his Anglo-Saxon army. Here, on this hilltop, the fate of England would be decided.
对，我们是在，我忘了，我们是在那个 我们是斜坡下的呀。哦，我们能控的只有蓝色的这些，靠腰。
William's Norman army made the first charge, launching a direct assault on the shield wall. Though William's army fought fiercely against the shield wall, it would not yield. As one man fell, another took his place. Overlapping shields in tight formation made for a near impenetrable barrier. Realizing his army could not break the shield wall, William called for a retreat. He aimed to lure the Anglo-Saxons into a false sense of victory, causing them to break formation. William's feigned retreat was working. The Anglo-Saxon army broke their shield wall formation, leaving gaps for William to make a move. With Harold's men no longer in shield wall formation, William could pick them off as they charged. The Anglo-Saxons had deployed rows of spearmen to push back the invaders, but William had an answer: his sharp-eyed archers. More Norman men-at-arms reinforced William's army.
错觉吗？我怎么觉得我有点推不动？
Anglo-Saxon archers joined the fray, and the Normans' deadly cavalry ready to charge. But first, William's forces had to eliminate the enemy spearmen, whose sturdy polearms could easily bring down a horse. threat of spearmen cleared from the field, William's cavalry was free to charge at the Anglo-Saxon archers. The Anglo-Saxon army was in disarray. Their shield wall had been neutralized, and their numbers were dwindling. Now the only thing standing between William and victory was King Harold himself. The last of Harold's men encircled their king, prepared to lay down their lives to save his. More Norman cavalrymen took to the field. The Anglo-Saxon King Harold had fallen. In the confusion, some loyal soldiers fought to the death, while others scattered in panic. Leaderless and defeated, the last of the Anglo-Saxon army fled for their lives. The Normans celebrated victory over the English king, but William's quest to rule England was just beginning.
他还要等级干嘛？没有影片哦。
At Guédelon in France, to understand how castles were constructed, they're building one from scratch, using just the tools and materials of the medieval age. It's a 25-year project. The world's biggest archaeological experiment. The most important defensive feature of any castle was the wall surrounding it.
Castle walls had to be incredibly thick in order to resist attack and absorb the impact of projectiles fired from trebuchets.
The curtain wall was over 20 feet deep, interspersed with towers. In earlier Norman castles, they were square. But while on crusade, European knights saw that eastern towers were round. They realized that eliminating corners not only made them stronger, but also provided a better view of the surrounding landscape. Completing the walls will take some 30,000 tons of sandstone.
Transport costs in the Middle Ages were incredibly expensive. So having a good supply of local stone close to the castle was vital.
To extract it from the quarry, first a row of holes is hand-drilled.
Once all the holes are ready, I'm ready to put in the iron wedges, and I'm ready to split it open by hitting very hard on each wedge with a big sledgehammer.
The stone is split into usable blocks, then transported using horsepower and human effort. This treadwheel crane can lift up to half a ton.
The walls are built like sandwiches. On the outside, you have facing walls built from better quality stones. And the inside, the rubble cores, they're built with softer stones and other offcuts from the quarry. And they're built up in layers with a very thick, coarse mortar.
This ingenious method makes the walls better able to withstand hits from a trebuchet. sandstone is too hard to be carved into intricate windows, vaults, and steps. Instead, softer, more expensive limestone is used. These sophisticated building techniques make castles the ultimate feats of medieval engineering. It's a testament to their construction that so many still stand today.
所以虽然说战役做的不怎么样，但是我们可以靠解完战役拿这个影片来当做看影集嘛，好像也可以啊。
At the Battle of Hastings, the death of one man changed the course of history. The Anglo-Saxon King Harold was killed here, on England's south coast. His army defeated by William of Normandy. Anglo-Saxon rule was over forever. At Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day 1066, William was crowned the first Norman King of England. Now he had to secure power across the country. He began by stamping his mark on the landscape, building cathedrals and castles at strategic locations. Nothing like them had been seen in England before. They reminded the Anglo-Saxon population exactly who was in charge. But not all were content with living under Norman rule. Anglo-Saxon revolts broke out across the country. King William acted quickly to crush these rebellions. But there was one region where dissent was spiraling out of control: the north of England. In 1069, a group of lords from Northumbria formed an alliance with Viking invaders. Together, they approached Norman-held York, a large city with an important cathedral, still protected by ancient Roman walls. But the walls couldn't save York. The city and the castle fell to the rebels. William's new kingdom was under threat. He had to get the city back under Norman control. William had no choice but to order his men north. But as the Norman forces set off on their long march towards York, how much resistance from the rebels would they encounter?
"好像整体就变得有点像在看一个互动式的历史节目。
William the Conqueror marched north, with his army of Normans determined to take back the rebel-held city of York. But in his path stood rebel towns that harbored William's northern enemies. He would take the towns back by force.
Attendez les commandements.
Avant, compagnons. Retraignez vos appuis.
Ainsi comme vos voldrez.
Finis! Wand, je commande. Avant.
Incontinent.
Very good!
Romans captured the town of Middlethorpe, establishing their presence in the north. With reinforcements to his armies soon arriving, William would need more resources to supply them.
哦，这个是新的。看一下哈，农田。
Che Ascolto. Ma sono.
Faked. Spero, sì, me? Lavoro. Che? Edifico. What? Ho chiesto.
Me. Lavoro. Si what? Edifico. Ubi vado?
Ubi vado?
Spero. Ascolto. Ma sono. Me. Alla materia.
Che? Spero.
哦，也要开始农那个资源了。
Lavoro. Sì, lavorans. Sì. Ma sono.
Che spero. Materia.
Finit. Ubi vado? Edifico.
The Norman army was now well supplied by a town, but it would take a sustained effort to keep the army at full strength.
这援军这么多，要编个第二队哈。
Another rebel town, Fulford, stood in defiance to William's rule.
这个是斥候，编了一只斥候在里面。
L'heure est de besoigner.
一样哎，可以升第二哎，可是这边好像没有黄金啊。
Mandes? Bene.
探索一下。
Ascolto. Sì. Vado. Ascolto. Ascolto. Vado.
哇！
Odite, gitte.
Soyez prêts. Je suis votre odite. Ite. Actum vostre service. Apertisets vostre courage, compagnon.
Odite, in avant.
L'heure est de les soldats! Assure commence! Citons! Reste tous sans frère! Viens les camarades!
就放在这里。
With the Fulford rebels eliminated, William was one step closer to York. Knowing he would face strong resistance in the city, William prepared to bolster his cavalry.
Escolto. What?
我看一下哈，议事厅生产工兵加100%，治疗附近的所有单位。他放这个好了。
Assono.
Access Spetsnaz in control.
Attention. Dite. Ok. Lavoro.
Ubi vado, edifico. Sì, ascolto. Lavoro.
Ubi vado? Edifico.
Honor est d'obéir.
哇，替身在帮忙盖建筑物。
Sì.
Spero. Lavoro.
Mais
Ah.
lavoro.
The Norman army came under attack from a new enemy, the Danes. William's army held back the Danes' attack, but they threatened to return unless William paid them in gold.
这是额外章节，是可以去打丹麦人。哦，进贡。屈辱的事情，我们怎么会愿意呢？
Parade pour venir. Vado laburar. Labour Speranza. ma sono la cosa.
Quel labour. Cosa sarà massonata?
Mandesque. Cosa sarà massonata? Quel me. Vado laburar. Cosa sarà massonata? Io ma
Soyez avance, compagnon.
终于灭了他们。
Attendez, je suis votre serveuse. Recueillez vos amouets.
Rodite, beignets, serviettes. Attention! Citons.
L'heure est si comme votre...
Promesse, ambulance. In avant, serviettes.
Soyez prêts.
The Normans discovered the source of the Dane threat, an outpost on the water. William had a choice: bypass the encampment, destroy it, or pay the Danes the gold they demanded.
pour laburar. Cosa sarà massonata? Ci sorrido, sì. Vado laburar.
Mondesqued, non movo, camino. Laborans en limas.
Qued labo, parat porvenir. Io ma sono la cosa. Qued me, pratetera bene.
In destroying the Dane outpost, William stripped the rebels of a crucial ally.
En arçon, chevalier! Pour votre service!
哎，所以这样算完成了。
Quand je commande, avance. Obéir, c'est vertu.
William's ultimate goal was within his grasp. All that remained was to enter York and destroy its keep.
Bene rodite.
不编成一队。
Avant, compagnon. Si comme vos voudrez. Incontinent. Recueillez vos amouets.
Cavallarios parats.
Perfecte.
Parats. Ensola.
Perfecte.
Labur speranza. Cosa sarà massonata?
Qued ordines.
Access vos votre
Let's go,
service.
Doc.
Scara formata.
Attendez les commandements. Apertisez votre courage, compagnon. Apertisez votre courage, compagnon. Certes.
记得好像有看过语言，有一个频道吧，
Je commande.
好像有讲过，就是在 在威廉征服英国之后呢，比较有一个很大的影响是语言发生了变化，因为等于是古法语跟英语做了一定的融合，可是它的融合是根据了那个你的社会地位而有差别，譬如说一些高雅的词，他们偏向于古法语的讲法。像是比较有体面的一些职业，像是裁缝师 Taylor， 记得他有讲这个是好像是源自于古法语。然后呢，那一些比较粗鄙的什么 shit 啊什么，这些就是维持的原本的那个萨克逊语。记得那个节目是这样讲，应该是啊，我记得不太，应该还没有，应该还算清楚。我觉得他们其实已经是等于是文化融合过一次了。没有工程器可以盖。
The Norman army poured into York and began sacking the town as they bore down on the keep.
没道理啊！为什么我开敌人也吃到 buff 了？我靠！我要输了！哇，还是不能让无脑 A 进去。
Attention! Quitte!
先派一队去打。快把我们的国王救回来！
Kiek et kaval.
Arco parade.
Parade. Cavalario, parade.
Lady mitraille.
Lovitz, muevos a pits!
Arquière parade.
Attention.
Oh.
The keep fell to the Norman army, and York was secured. The Northern Rebellion was over, and William the Conqueror was uncontested as King of England.
哇，差点翻车啊！好了，来看影片时间，先看个弩吧。
One weapon more than any other dominated warfare in the Norman period: the crossbow. Century crossbows like this were the culmination of centuries of development. With limbs made of steel, they were incredibly powerful. But earlier Norman crossbows had limbs made of wood.
There was a limit to how powerful these wooden bows could be.
So the idea that Norman crossbows were a powerful weapon is really a myth. Despite this, they were effective at medium range, and that was enough in battle. Drawing the bow repeatedly took a lot of strength. Thankfully, help was at hand.
A crossbowman spanned his weapon with a device called a belt and claw.
This gave him extra leverage, allowing him to use his back and legs to draw the string.
Crossbowmen were vulnerable on a battlefield, so they carried large shields called pavises, so they could hunker down behind, load, pop up, shoot, and then duck back down again to reload.
Crossbows were accurate, took less training, and used cheaper ammunition than the longbow. Most importantly, you could wait to take your shot, so they were perfect for siege situations. To protect crossbowmen when they were defending castles, they used specially built wooden galleries, called hoardings. But shooting down towards an approaching enemy presented its own problems. How to stop the bolt from falling off the crossbow before it could be shot?
What they did is just place the thumb loosely on the top of the bolt, which is just enough with light pressure to hold it in place.
Around 1200, the Norman wooden crossbow was superseded by a new design, the composite bow. With limbs made from horn and sinew, they could be made more compact than a wooden bow. And they could deliver up to 4 times the punch. They were, however, more expensive. So whether on the battlefield or the castle rampart, simple wooden crossbows remained the main weapon of the day.
好，北至约克。等一下，这个影片是旧的吧？重播。好，那我等一下把它剪掉，这一段不要播。
William the Conqueror had recaptured York from the rebels. Now he wanted to teach them a lesson for defying him. He began a brutal campaign of destruction to crush any further resistance, known as the Harrying of the North. Villages and crops were destroyed. It is said 100,000 people were killed. With ruthless efficiency, William the Conqueror had secured obedience in his new kingdom. But it wasn't to last. It would be thrown into chaos by his own children. When William the Conqueror died in 1087, his favorite son succeeded him, King William II, known as William Rufus. But 13 years into his reign, disaster struck. While out hunting, he was killed. William's youngest brother took his place as King Henry I. But there was a problem. At the time, Henry's elder brother, Robert, Duke of Normandy, had been on crusade. When he returned, he was furious that Henry had grabbed the throne. From Normandy, Robert attempted to invade England to claim the crown from his brother. But he failed and returned home. In retaliation, Henry struck back. In a reversal of 1066, he crossed the Channel and invaded Normandy, intent on undermining his brother Robert's rule. His first target was Bayeux. This rich and splendid city was one of the jewels of Normandy. Henry was to begin his campaign by unleashing his forces on the city. Bayeux was about to feel the wrath of the English army.
他这个进度条，整个到1217年1217英格兰发生什么事了？发现从威廉之后的故事好像，曾经有一阵子很无聊，就是在那个维基百科看每一任英国国王的维基百科。这好像虽然我看过，可是好像他现在讲这些，我好像一点印象都没有，都是我太混了。应该是我太混，是我那时候金雀花还有都舵那边看的比较久，这边就没看，也有可能。
In the brotherly feud over Normandy, King Henry I set out to make an example of Bayeux, a town still loyal to his brother Duke Robert. Henry's archers took up position on high ground outside the city and faced an immediate attack by Robert's cavalry patrol. Having deployed their palings, Henry's archers were well protected against the cavalry charge. They defeated the first patrol.
Obeisance is on
Yeah, we get that.
As Henry set his sights on burning Bayeux, more reinforcements arrived to join his army.
变第二队了。
The English approached Bayeux and saw that its towering stone walls would not be breached by manpower alone. Henry would need siege equipment and a defensible location to construct it.
Ah, 这么靠他再去那边。
Mit Waldenes. Ich schau leden. Hartes ihr Hände!
单位的血量一直显示不出来，你总是开启了。
called for the services of a blacksmith to bolster the siege effort.
铁匠铺，好。
Each timber sale.
Yaru to work.
What surface? Each a worker.
What surface?
有道理啊！我们这边在法国，为什么对那个农民讲的是英语，还是讲法语啊
Fair enough.
Each a worker.
Yes, sir. Where's the harder?
靠！
Yes, sir. Where's the harder? Each timber fails.
What surface?
With a blacksmith on hand, Henry's infantry would soon be ready to construct siege equipment.
And your worker. Behave of yourself. Each a blue cat that. Yes, sir. Where's the harder? What surface?
Yes, sir. West to Hala.
And your worker. That's surely by your tip.
What surface?
Yes, sir. Where's the harder?
Each.
Yes, sir. Where's the harder? Each a worker.
I'm your worker. Off each guard. I'm your worker.
Henry's infantry could now construct battering rams, siege weapons designed to break open fortress walls.
Behave of yourself.
建造冲车。
Nu, Tulkas, set it yo.
Yaru to work.
Strail boren yaru. Beodeth me strail flamboga and garway. Garwiga. Yes, sir. Flam strail boren yaru. Primet garu.
有吗？哪里有见到冲车？哦，在旁边靠腰。
It shall be timbered Yarway. What hestes? Nebierwa, Garwiga. Fristra Bora, see that timbered shall bear.
Estes comende. Each a worker.
What surface?
Abuga, strail ball.
啊，木头不够，靠腰。
I'm your worker. Each a willer, Q a would do.
The Educian on well gender new.
What surface?
Yeah, we have. It shall be timbered this. Fristra boren yerwa.
等支援。哎， 好奇妙的一个移动。
With the power of battering rams, the English army could crack open Bayer's mighty walls.
Find the end on Styria, Kempa! Stremona, Sinte! Yeah! One less then, Sinte! Yirwa, Gaga! Vieru Seras Yaro! Vieru Siaro Yaro! Wasted yet letter, Uska, Donde Vanda! Vieru Siaro Yaro!
Bayer's walls had failed, and Henry's men could now storm the city. Robert's garrison made a last stand to defend Bayeux, but Henry would show no mercy in cutting them down and burning their city.
Yes, sir? Where's the harder? Each timber thanks. Knickers! Into the sun! Rascaro! A boot on Styria! Trailboarder! Rascaro! What has that? Swiftly! The Enunciado Yaro, Gandebo! Second, the Enunciado Yaro! There, Brincas! Grites, for water breakers! Mit Baldener! Berosaro on the Hereshora! Admino Walter! What has that? The Enunciado Yaro!
Westuhala, each Timbra Theos. Yaru to work. Each to work.
Mit Boldenes! Rav Rinkas! Rav Yahotsverege! Rav Rinkas! Alkritas Jan! We're beyond the shot tonight!
Yeah, what's that face, eh? That's Shula Bill. Yeah. Would you be there, sir?
Strela, Buze.
Yarway.
靠！我打错方向，是这打这边。
Obedience is unimatu. What has that? What
Strailborn Yaru.
Fuse to servant.
他那个城堡也太硬了吧
Strailborn Yaru. Strailborn Yaru. Flamboga at home. Strailborn Yaru. Yaru again. Strela Fuse. Yes, sir.
Henry's presence on the doorstep of Bayeux would not go unanswered, and now his forces braced for an attack by Robert's army.
Yes, sir. West to Harlan. We're 10 days on
Henry repelled the attack, but he knew that so long as Bayeux still stood, the city would not give up the fight.
And you worker. That's Shula Bale Timbran.
And you worker? That's Shula Bale Timbran.
Bruken. Under Quarto! Pestes, kom aan. Donde es var? Herinde Estes!
啊，这样就完成了。
As Bayeux burned and the people fled in terror, King Henry basked in the victory over his brother Duke Robert. But Henry would not stop until all of Normandy was back under the English crown.
现在看这个链甲制作。
By 1100, the medieval knight was dressed from head to toe in mail.
Mail is really like a metal fabric. It moves and behaves like a cloth, but is actually made of hundreds and thousands of interlocking iron rings.
It could turn and deflect a sword blade.
As an armor, mail didn't work all by itself. It needed the addition of a padded coat. The coat absorbed the shock of the blow, whilst the mail turned away the cut. Together, they formed an incredibly effective protection.
The first stage in making mail was to create wire to the right thickness. To do this, it was pulled through a drawing plate, which had a series of ever smaller holes, until you got wire of the desired gauge.
To make the rings, we wind the wire onto a mandrel.
And then we take it off the mandrel and cut the rings.
So I've flattened the overlapping ends of the ring, and I've pierced a hole through it. And now Nick has to put a rivet in it. The basic construction of mail would be a ratio of 4:1. So each ring goes through 4 of its fellows. Here you can see I've made a set of 5, which will then be joined to other sets of 5 to create a sheet of mail.
Mail had to be tailored to a perfect fit. It had to be shaped for feet and legs, arms and hands, and, of course, the head. A skilled mail maker could make very precise shapes.
Of course, for more complicated parts of the body, like elbows, we can actually tailor it in 2 different directions at the same time.
Yeah, so if we fold this in half, we have an elbow.
One of the main benefits of tailoring in mail was that it meant a knight didn't have to carry a single ring of extra weight that he didn't need to.
The mail to cover a knight from head to toe required about 200,000 rings.
High-status knights would have had their mail edged with gold, but most importantly, it had to be functional.
Clad in mail with his shield and helmet, the knight was well equipped to face the weapons of the day.
看一下现在时间。好吧，我看我们好，我们再做最后一个好了，打最后一关，好，就结束这一趴。因为时间上也差不多，然后这游戏应该是蛮多人播的，所以比起播这个我前面那个，譬如说什么寻路者，可能还是更重要。这个只是录来是个大家的口碑而已啊。
While Bayeux burned, King Henry pressed his advantage. Seizing key fortifications and buying the loyalty of powerful lords, Henry loosened his brother's grip over Normandy. At Tinchebray in 1106, brother would fight brother for final claim to their father's lands. Determined to claim Normandy and capture his brother, Duke Robert, King Henry besieged the castle at Tinchebray. But the direct assault on the formidable stone castle was failing. Unable to breach the towering walls, the king devised a new plan to capture his brother. Henry would force Robert to defend his lands from attack by razing the villages of Martigny and Fresnes.
哇，这不是战国时代的打法吗？在你家，在你的城寨下面割道，逼你出来。早期的战国时代打法。所以说，战争苦的还是百姓。
To goad Robert out of his stronghold, Henry's men would burn the village to the ground. Martigny was destroyed, but still Robert did not emerge to face Henry outside the castle. Henry would have to raise the stakes. Next, he targeted the village of Fresnes. Henry could buy reinforcements from nearby allies if he could procure the gold to pay them. Henry received word that Robert had sent for a fresh army to aid in defending his position at the castle. Henry had to eliminate these new forces before they could combine with the garrison at Tinchebray. Henry's ally in Bayeux sent reinforcements in exchange for gold.
Leo da Herza Confletcher. Sterande Tima. Look at your the shield pending! Makiet Yerwa.
我靠，这边有这么大一波！
By eliminating Robert's incoming army, Henry had thwarted his brother's attempt at strengthening the castle's defenses. Paid his ally in Tosny and received a regiment of soldiers.
It is Sita for actors.
At the hands of Henry's army, the village of Fresnes was in ruins. Henry's provocations had paid off. Robert finally emerged from the castle to face his brother in open battle.
But mean a word. Duce is none more dead. Look at your be ready, Freckes. Ut readeth nu, Tulkis. Yet to be ready for Hesses. Nu, Tulkis, he shall lay the young. Condente to serve.
这边看起来是死路啊，很讨厌。
Henry sent gold to his ally in Brittany, and in return, a detachment arrived to bolster his numbers.
输了。看来他的策略应该是要要先把黄金都拿一拿才对。现在看，果然这边都还有一堆黄金，所以应该要重打。
Henry would force Robert to defend his lands from attack by razing the villages of Martigny and Fresnes.
Ich liebe to hear it.
To goad Robert out of his stronghold, Henry's men would burn the village to the ground. The village of Martigny was destroyed, but still Robert did not emerge to face Henry outside the castle. Henry would have to raise the stakes. Next, he targeted the village of Fresnes. Henry could buy reinforcements from nearby allies, if he could procure the gold to pay them. Henry received word that Robert had sent for a fresh army to aid in defending his position at the castle. Henry had to eliminate these new forces before they could combine with the garrison at Tinchebray. Henry sent gold to his ally in men and received fresh reinforcements. By eliminating Robert's incoming army, Henry had thwarted his brother's attempt at strengthening the castle's defenses.
Look how you be ready, Frankis. Folk warde Frankis, mid Baldanes. Has been a word fed. He shall lay the yard. Has been a word fed.
这边有钱，靠腰。其实移动速度有点慢啊，面对这种要探索的任务，就有一点拖台前。我刚刚应该有一只斥候，所以应该是挤到前面去，然后就应该是一下就死了。没事，怪我自己。没有，靠腰。
But mean a word, Ferrer. Certes, he shall lay the young. It's living to hear it. Duty is none but dead. Andente to serve. All is with it. Certes. It's living to hear it. Ut readeth nu, Tulkes. Forth warde Frankes, mid Baldanes. Duty is none but dead. Andente to serve. At mean a word, Ferret. Knitas! Jobischen sein Heste! Knitas! In den Schatten! Batman! It's Libya! Get to be ready for Hestes. Dude is none more dead. Knitas! Admino order! Fire!
留一栋房子先别烧，等我集结好，然后再把钱探索一下。
Fortfarande Fräckes, mit Baldenes. Ich liebe to hear it. Ich shall lay it down. Alles with. Gut read it nu, Tulkis. Admina worda fer. Nu, Tulkis, set it ya. Gut read it nu, Tulkis. Nu, Tulkis, set it shall lay it ya.
记得这边应该有钱。
It's livid to hear it. Certes. Admina word. Fer. Fortwarde Fräckes. Mit Baldenes. Jettetir fortwarde Fräckes. Mit hittis sin to read it nu, Tulkis.
Henry sent gold to his ally in Brittany, and in return, a detachment arrived to bolster his numbers.
Cometh on. Look at be the Andente to serve. Andente to serve. And are to hear. Arthur Knitas Yara.
Yeah, way we get that. Ferrat we got. Back yet, Yerwa. Let us gone. Steranda Tima.
At the hands of Henry's army, the village of Fresnes was in ruins. Henry's provocations had paid off. Robert finally emerged from the castle to face his brother in open battle.
我就是下马骑士。好，我们已经抢了一个上坡，这样的一个隘口的地形应该是好打的。放一小队骑兵别动队。
It is Sita for actors. Certes. Knitas, in the south. Get to be ready for Hestes. Knitas, Each guy!
代该不会还是有保留那个高地有攻击加成吧？
King Henry's tactic of luring Robert into the open had worked. Henry captured his brother, and Normandy was his.
哦，有2个影片都是新的。先来看这个坦什布赖之战，它这个是开场动画，但是你打完之后，它可以拉到影片里面，所以我们这个是重复看的了，靠腰，这个才是新的。哎，这是页面而已，哇，已经没有影片了，好吧，那就看一下时间也差不多。 我觉得中间一些我在等资源的部分，我应该是会把它剪掉了，因为是有一点无聊。然后呢，我觉得它其实游戏没有那么精致。我说实在的，跟全军破敌比，我觉得它精致度还是有差。我觉得甚至它的画面表现上虽然是3D， 可是我觉得你们有玩那个。 世纪帝国2 HD 4K 决定版的，应该不会觉得说这一代画面比较精致，就它就只是一个新的引擎，然后整个文化每个文化的那个讲文化，你好像在讲文明帝国，应该说每个国家它等于是重新设计，它是一个新的机制嘛，新的玩法嘛，总是要更新嘛，这样子。然后呢？ 我是真的操作上是很菜的，所以我应该不会录线上对战。我一个中等电脑都打不赢的人，就这个就还是不要献丑了。而且，世纪帝国这种传统 RTS 的应该是高手应该是很多啊，就不用特别来我这边看。我这边主要是看他这个，我觉得他这一次的这个把真人的这种类似影集的部分放进来，我觉得还算别有一番风味了。 因为我本来就蛮喜欢看那个历史频道，以前蛮喜欢看历史频道的啦，然后还有一些历史剧、战争剧，本来就喜欢嘛。我相信应该大家也是喜欢，都是同一个喜欢差不多类型的才会玩《世纪帝国》啊、《全军破敌》啊。相信大家应该是兴趣都差不多。好，那我们就。 看一下，这边有，它直接在这边就有一个进度表出来给你，我有解锁了，其他也都可以打哎。 好吧，那我们这个这一步就试个水温吧。因为我觉得还可以啦，只是我就是玩单人啦，或者是跟朋友玩这样子。那就先这样吧。那就以上是今天《世纪帝国4》的游玩内容了。那就感谢大家的收看，下次见，拜拜。